Indeed, it's a matter of great pleasure always to be at an MRI and always talking about what is going on. So in fact, initially when Navina talked about, it was, my role was limited as a panelist. But after 3 or 4 days, he says, sir, agar ek chota sa presentation ho jaye. So I was thinking of on what topic we should talk about, because the theme was very pertinent to our sector, and particularly the policy reforms and the ecosystem. In the morning, already a lot more have been discussed about the statistics, the forewords, and the way forward. But here, now I'm trying to restrict myself only to the roadmap to the Viksit Bharat. If really we want to do something with this sector, how we need to plan, how we need to execute, and what are the probable outcomes. Poultry always remains mysterious. It's a long journey. In 1950, with a 2 billion pieces of eggs to 142 billion pieces of eggs as on date. A backyard venture, a farming transformed into industry is a real story. Everybody is talking about the white revolution, the green revolution, where we have seen 1-fold, 2-fold, 5-fold and 10-fold increases, but nobody talks about poultry revolution, wherein we have seen growth not less than 70-folds. But this revolution has taken a quantum leap and strides only with the help of private sector. When you know there is no support system for you, perhaps you are more strong. Perhaps you are more conscious. And perhaps you are more sustainable. So here, I'll try to limit my talks only the wings of birds to the world, and that too, what should be our strategies. Only I am going to define 4 or 5 pillars, and what should be a roadmap to our Viksit Bharat. Of course, we shall try to have few of the things while having discussion in course, because time is very limited, and I know I do have my fellow panelists to talk about. Whenever we are talking about ranking in the morning, everything has been said a lot, and always in figures we do have a differences of opinion with chairperson. When we are talking about the data which is available with the government, of course there are few things where disclaimer works. It means the data which reaches to the government, only it has been projected. So which is not reaching, perhaps that is the missing dot. And if we can connect this dot, perhaps we'll come to a very good conclusion. And current export, if I am looking at it, roughly it is $100 million. The global marketing opportunities, roughly we are going for over 30 billion US dollars. But the drivers are the rising demand for affordable protein, the health conscious preferences, and lower environmental impact as compared to the red meat. Yes, of course, the Middle East and Gulf, which is a natural destination because of proximity and also because of halal certification, because that makes it more congenial for them. But yes, Africa is a growing market, particularly for frozen chicken and for the hatching eggs. But yet we have to look for a high value markets like Japan, European Union, South Korea for the processed product, which in the morning also we had few discussions. Now if we are looking at current export portfolios, the products are processed chicken meat, the table eggs and hatching eggs, and value added products. And the key market which we have targeted so far are Oman, Maldives, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Vietnam, Africa, but lot more export potential is there. And I have made my own assessment so as to have $1+ billion annually with right strategies. And when I am talking about right strategies, then we need to discuss challenges first, because whenever you are strategizing anything, you need to see the challenges first, and then accordingly you can make your own strategies to deal with it or to overcome it. Very important is disease concerns, and in the morning itself, the DGM APIDA also, she has shown the concern about the presence of diseases and the export disruption because of presence of diseases. So very first is avian influenza. That always affects the trade certification. But yes, I know, because when I was in the ministry, we were first to think of compartments. It is just to facilitate this trade. And way back in 2007-8, we have started compartmentalization. Dr. Chawak is here. He remembers well that in 2008, we have taken the first compartment of Frankie. And at the same time, C&M was also, they came forward because they were also exporting a lot of chicks in the neighboring countries. So yes, we are in a position to control this. We are not talking in terms of zone, so far poultry is concerned, but we are talking about compartments because the compartments are also being recognized when we are talking about transboundary diseases. Then certainly there are a lot more infrastructure gaps. Infrastructure, it means it is money intensive. The investment cost is very high, but returns, it is very proportionate. So here we need that some interventions are required right at the level of cold chain management or the availability of container. I have come across few of the exporters, they say containers are not available, hence we are not in a position to export. Even the port logistics, they also play an important role while you are making your commodity to be sent abroad. Then at the same time, the quality standards, because these are not being harmonized. So quality standard, whatever is available, even the certification becomes very difficult. So sometimes at some place, it is also required to connect these dots at this point of time. And yes, of course, the very important is cost effectiveness, which of course, when we are dealing with the feed cost, only feed cost, this becomes a bit higher as compared to the countries like Brazil or states, wherein lot more subsidies are being given only on the maize, which is coming as a maize subsidies to them, and thereby they are trying to reduce their production costs. Now, what should be our strategy framework? Let us have discussion about the strategy framework, and I divide it into 5 different components. The very important is the market diversification. The very important is quality and certification, which of course we'll try to have a discussion how we can do away with this, what policy support we need. And of course, at this point of time, I would like to make it clear that the industry, the poultry industry is growing only because of the policies which are congenial to them. And ultimately, it's a government support which has been extended to them since beginning. So it is a domain and role of the government to make the congenial policies for the poultry to go. And at the same time, government is very sensitive to look after the emergent issues which are coming time and again in the poultry sector. But with proud, I can say as a person of poultry sector that this bird, इसने कभी हमको निराश नहीं किया. Whenever setbacks are there, it has bounced back with the double strength and then has shown the sustainability in the sector. So it is quite resilient if I say the poultry sector is. The third is market diversification, because sometimes we are depending on single market. If we are not having a diversification, again we have a lot of problem. Recently, the Middle East, they posed a new conditions for the egg. They need to have an egg of 60 grams now. So if you don't have the diversification in the market, ultimately the purchasers, they are in a position to blackmail you. Then yes, we need the infrastructure and logistics and branding and promotion. I'll give a different angle to the branding and promotion, because right now whatever is going on is not sufficient to persuade aggressively our targets, what we are fixing for. So I'm coming to pillar 1. Only we are going to discuss these 5 points. The rest will conclude. So in quality and certification, very important is how many export-oriented houses we are having. Whenever we are constructing a unit, usually it is being done for the domestic consumption. At the same time, if little value addition is there or little logistic support is there, I think those units can be converted easily into the export-oriented houses. And of course, when we are establishing this, we need to keep in our mind the international certification systems, so that later on we should not face any problem. Then we need to see the compliance standard, particularly the SPS measures and also the importers norm. At the same time, the global standards which are available across the globe. Traceability system, again, in the previous session also we have looked into this, but here what I feel we need to strengthen the farm to fork tracking capabilities, and perhaps to some extent I feel blockchain management. If we can introduce in our system, perhaps everything remains solved. And then disease-free zones, of course I am not talking about zones in poultry, always I am talking about compartments, because it is very easy for us to manage the compartment and to convince the importing countries to at any point of time to come and to inspect and to rely upon. Now look for the market diversification. Simply I'll tell you only 4 points. One, Middle East expansion. Here we need to have the strengthening and credentials only on halal certification for fresh and frozen products. Then in African markets, it is a growing economy. They are looking for processing and frozen products. Then high value markets. In high value markets, we need to target them, because these are the countries in a time to come which have a huge import potential and also giving opportunity for us for a maximum export potential. And then there are certain niche products which are either antibiotic free or organic or ready to eat specialties. And here I would like to give you an example. A very different kind of ecosystem have been developed in the state of Sikkim. They say we are organic state. They are carrying out their poultry activity in the backyard. So whatever egg comes out of that, they are branding it as an organic egg, nearly organic egg. And they do have a huge market demand in terms of tourists going on over there. The pillar 3, which is very important, is infrastructure and logistics. We don't have any networking of cold chain management. If we can look for, we do have cold chain. We are trying to develop the cold chain management, but networking, here we are a bit ahead, and we are lacking here. So if some integrated mechanism we can think of, perhaps it will facilitate a lot. Then export clusters. Here the role of government comes, because whenever we are looking at it, we do have a very scattered type of export oriented unit, and perhaps to me, if these export clusters are nearer to the coastal areas, perhaps we can reduce the logistic cost. At the same time, we can reduce the disease transmissions, and at the same time, the port logistics can also be very well tackled through this. And ultimately, if we can switch over to PPP model, because certain things are there which cannot be handled by a single sector, if it can be amongst the sectors, perhaps the things can become very easy. And to me, the focus for these clusters should be either in Andhra or in Gujarat or in Tamil Nadu for strategic export cluster development. So sometimes, I don't know, now the DGM APIDA is missing, otherwise this message can go to them. Yeah. So you can take this message. If some sort of thing can be done through this, if we want to develop some clusters, and that too around coastal area, some incentive can be given to them, perhaps it will go in a long way. Branding and promotion, we do have very many brands, but we are not projecting it. And my view is, we should launch a national campaign emphasizing the quality, the safety, and the sustainability. Quality could be different, the safety could be different, or sustainability could be different. But there are very many value addition which we are doing. We are taking care of very many animal welfare issues. Can we do value addition with this? That our product is animal welfare certified, or we are doing a production in a system where we do comply with international standard of animal welfare, something like that. This is what my thought is. Whatever we are doing, if we can put it as a value addition in our product, perhaps it will help a lot in getting a different kind of brand value. Then global business meet, again APIDA role comes here. I don't know how many global business meets have been conducted so far meet is concerned. Because ultimately when you want to open your market globally, if you want to facilitate this, some forum should be there where we can showcase our things, and some buyers should be available who can also comment on our production or production system or product quality or whatever they want to have. So if some common platform is there, some global meets are there, perhaps it will go a long way to have our export going in exponential way. And then with the digital presence, can we develop some online platform or e-commerce channels to showcase Indian poultry products? I am not talking about the e-platforms for business. I am talking about e-platforms to showcase our products, to showcase and detailing of our products, so that persons can realize, persons can think of what kind of products are available, how and when these can be procured, or what are the ways and means to approach them. So this is also one of the important things. Now coming to the policy and institutional support, here I am a bit conscious because I work in the Government of India. I am an academician. I am also looking after research activities, and at the same time I am quite friendly to the industry also. So I am taking a very reserved approach and very conscious approach while dealing with policy and institutional support. But yes, the government domain is to have a compartmentalization done. We need to facilitate. If something is lacking, then some logistic support can be provided to the unit to comply with the international norms. So far the compartmentalization is concerned. Export incentive, this I expect from EPIDA. If some export incentive is there, perhaps the persons will come more forward to export the product or to match their product with the international standards. And then EPIDA is strengthening here also for promotion of product. I request EPIDA to take some steps to promote the products also, whatever products are available in our market, because every now and then our stakeholders ke liye, it is not possible to go abroad and to showcase and to have a dialogue or something like that, because it also needs a huge investment. So here EPIDA can do this. And then in states, if states are having state coordinating committees to facilitate this export, in Uttar Pradesh we have developed this. So perhaps from our place, now the export potential of agri products is better, because off and on we are connected with the world. And this is very important feature. Whenever we are talking about export, if it is not sustainable, then off and on, today you are in a position to export, tomorrow your production system is not geared up for a sustainable production farming system, which should match to the ESG requirement, the environment, the social and the governance requirement at an international level. Then waste to value, again the circular economy that plays an important role. I am not going to elaborate because since morning we are talking about the circular economy. And then antibiotic stewardship, because this is also important that at this point of time the judicious use of antibiotic and perhaps what we are doing should go to the public. We are doing it, but public doesn't know. And I am happy Mr. Suresh Chitturi is here. With CII we have taken a stewardship of AMR through industrial stewardship, and we are carrying it forward through different veterinary institutions. First of its kind, we hold it at Bangalore, then we had been to Maharashtra, now we are going to Bihar. So it will be a continuous process. Now here is an important point. If somebody wants to draw a roadmap, how we can improve our exports, how we should progress, how we should prepare our roadmap, here is a suggestion and guideline, and I request the institute, the director of the institute and Naveen to have a look at it, if we can develop some white paper on this and we can submit it to the concerned agencies like DHD or the EPIDA, and we may have a synergy between them just to draw a roadmap and then comply with it. In first year, which is a foundation year, we can establish the disease-free zones, we can upgrade the processing facilities, and we can opt in the certification for those who are coming forward for export-oriented unit. Year 2, we can develop the infrastructure, like we can develop the cold chain networks, we can create the support export clusters, or we can launch the brand India Poultry. In third year, it will be a year of market entry, and we can penetrate to the new market, we can establish the buyer relationship, and then we can go for scaling of the operation. And then year 4 and 5, we can scale and we can sustain. So through this, if we can target something like $1 billion USD in poultry market, the expected impact it is purely my speculation. The export growth in next 5 years, almost with the annual growth of 1000% in export growth from 100 plus million to 1 billion annually. Farmers' income, it will increase through premium export prices roughly 50%, and then rural employment will also be enhanced by 25%. So strategic export growth will contribute significantly to foreign exchange earnings, rural development, and the vision of Viksit Bharat. As we all know, the 4 pillars of Viksit Bharat are the Yuva, the women, the farmer, and the youth. So now what we are going to target through the poultry production system is all these 4 pillars of Viksit Bharat, and this is what I pronounce that from potential to powerhouse, this should become our theme. We do have a potential and we should become a powerhouse. So by addressing sanitary standards, the strengthening infrastructure, and creating a strong brand identity, India can enhance its share in international poultry trade and soar to the new heights. So thank you very much for a patient hearing. I end this.